Hi Wagwan, this is Kerri-Ann from Kerri-Ann's Cravings. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making my tamarind glazed baby back ribs. So the tamarind is going to bring a rich and tangy and sweet flavor to our ribs. If this sounds good to you, stick around, subscribe now, and let's get cooking. So the first thing I did was remove my ribs from that vacuum pack and rinse away all that liquid that it's been sitting in. Then I gave it a quick rinse and a vinegar wash. Next, you want to remove this white membrane, this white film that you're looking at that's covering the bone. This membrane tends to get chewy and tough when cooked, so if you want your ribs to fall off the bone tender, you definitely want to remove it before cooking. The membrane is pretty easy to remove. Just use a knife and gently slide it under the membrane, then use your fingers and pull it right off. Now that that's done, you want to make sure that our ribs are pat completely dry before moving on to our next step. So now it's time to add some flavor to our ribs. I'm adding some all-purpose seasoning. I'm also going in with some garlic powder. Some onion powder, which is going to add loads of flavor. I'm also adding some smoked paprika just to add a little smokiness to the ribs. And I'll follow that up with some salt. Next, I'm going to drizzle some vegetable oil all over my ribs. Now this will help the seasoning adhere to the ribs when I start to rub the seasoning in, because I'm going to rub them in as opposed to patting them on. This is going to be so good. It's going to be so flavorful. So you want to give it a good rub. You want to make sure that the seasoning is rubbed in all the little nooks and crannies, all the little fissures. So every area is completely covered in seasoning. So I'm going to go ahead and drizzle a little bit more oil so I can really distribute the seasoning on the ribs. This is excellent. This is perfect. This is exactly how we want our ribs to look. Next, I'm going to cover this and allow it to sit overnight for even deeper flavor. So these are ready for the oven, and I'm going to cover them up with my foil, which will allow them to steam and get really tender. So I'll stick these in the oven on 300 for 2 hours until they're tender. And then when they're done, I'm going to slather them in a delicious homemade tamarind glaze. So it's time to finish up our ribs. They've been baking low and slow for 2 hours and they smell amazing. This is so incredibly tender, guys, and absolutely juicy. So flavorful. So we're going to add our homemade tamarind glaze to give this even more flavor. Now we're going to slather our sauce all over our ribs. We want to make sure that both sides of the ribs are completely covered and drenched in our homemade tamarind sauce. So I'm going to link the video on how I make this tamarind sauce in the description box for you. And I'll also link it in the card area in the upper right corner. So now that we've brushed all our glaze on our ribs, we're going to increase our oven temperature to 500 degrees and return the ribs to the oven for about 10 minutes. This will allow my sauce to caramelize and get sticky and give me that crispy, charred finish, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to remove my ribs from the oven. Can you hear that sizzle? This is going to be so delicious. Now, if you want your ribs to be a little less charred, you can leave it in for under 10 minutes. But I love this level of charred, so this is just perfect for me. Okay, you guys, these are perfect. These are ready to eat. As always, thank you for tuning in and hanging out with me today. I hope you love this recipe as much as we do, and give this video a thumbs up and also share with your friends. So if you still haven't subscribed to our channel, we invite you to do so right now. And from my heart to yours, one love and stay blessed.